My name is Strang-Yettica. I am from Bunjalang country. I live with the Wiradjuri on Land, also known as Wollongong. Spent some of my growing years in Taree, Birpai country, and most formative years on Wiradjuri Land. I could think of myself as a re-emerging artist. I live with a disability, one or two, but we go anyway. We go in anyway. There seems to be a lot of work to do, so we go in anyway. Today we are in beautiful sunny Kandos, and I'm here to complete my artist residency. Part of my work is to engage with the community and develop work that responds to and reflects the community of Kandos. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello. Are you doing a glitter workshop?
I'm doing a fridge magnet workshop.
Oh yeah, sorry. My
Yeah,
friend
cool.
Karen told me.
Oh, cool.
Do you know her?
No.
Karen Noland?
No, I don't. I might have met them. I've met
Maybe
so
she
many
did.
people. When the cement works left, they didn't just leave buildings behind. They left families behind, and they left a collective and individual investment in the place. Pretty much I can imagine that the town said, well, what happens to us now? That can't have been easy, you know. People had invested their lives and their livelihoods in a place called Kandos that they called home. And yeah, I do. I find that being left behind, I find it really sad for them, that it must have been so hard. People all of a sudden, you know, don't have work. They might have had to leave to find work. You know, that the future just didn't look the same. In talking to some of the locals, they did say things like, well, we knew it was coming, and we kind of knew it was coming for a while. We just didn't know when. And that must have been a hard knowledge to live with, that knowing that one day, although which day might have been the question, that kind of been easy. The last of the glitter. Oh, my stars. I feel for the people that built the town. I feel for the people that invested their lives here. And then, of course, you have to feel for them again, because here comes Kandos as a growing, fast-growing art community. And I just wonder, how do they reconcile that? How does it feel to be given, I guess, some kind of lifeline for the community, but it may not be the lifeline that they thought they were going to have. I do find it sad, especially for those people that have been here working all their lives. Just kind of been easy. And I wonder how easy or not is the transition from cement town to art town. And I hope that my work is not too confronting, but somewhat interesting, and that the people find a way to put their voice and their story to their town, I guess via the conduit that is Sister GlitterNullius, because she understands lost. She understands not having a place where she belongs. So I'm hoping that in getting to know this town, the people and the nun might find some common ground. Sister GlitterNullius, she sins pretty much like many people in the Western world. Her love-hate relationship with all things consumerism and capitalism finds her in a terrible bind where she understands that she can't live with and she can't live without the 21st century.
He maketh me to need plastic boxes, dental floss, maketh me to lie down in plastic bathtubs and plastic bed sheets.
Sister GlitterNullius has a license to do just about anything that she wants, and with that then comes a lot of a confidence that perhaps I don't have in my everyday life.
What do you think the older people in the community think and feel about all the crazy artists and all the crazy things that go on in their small town? Don't worry about what he's saying. Don't worry about what he's looking at. Tell everyone about the closing of the swimming pool.
It was the it did upset people, and what we did, that's one of the things that we did.
Colonisers come in all shapes and sizes, in the containers of contemporary art, and a cafe soy latte. Colonisers come in all shapes and forms.
She's a very freeing character because she can get away with just about anything almost any day of the week. Sister GlitterNullius is a superhero. She just doesn't know a superhero of what or of whom. She is an Indigenous woman who, by colonisation, has found herself caught up in Catholicism. And the difficulty has become that consumerism and capitalism and our use of plastics has become enmeshed and embroiled within her DNA, and she's morphing into a bird. Unfortunately for the nun, nobody's actually explained to her that in order to fly, birds grow their wings on their backs, and her wings are growing from her eyelashes. You might hope that she is morphing into an Indigenous bird, and perhaps she will find her way home to her ancestors, or perhaps she'll be able to hear them. But unfortunately, no, she is very much attracted to the blue and gold of the macaw feathers that she finds around the place. So as she goes along her travels, she starts to morph into a bird who happens to be a macaw. Her second macaw feather sits inside this plastic biohazard bag, almost waiting for an escape. I guess that comes from the idea of things that are fallen are waiting to find their new role or their new place to be. It's not necessary that a macaw is going to lead her back to her ancestors. In Sister GlitterNullius's current inability to hear her ancestors calling her home, it's not that she doesn't want to, she just can't. She is trying to find a place where she belongs. She has a few little trinkets around her that indicate where she's been and where she might be going to. She does have a telescope and she does have a compass, but unfortunately for GlitterNullius, she doesn't really know how to read the map. She very often finds that it's inside out and upside down, and it becomes intertwined with these other maps that she can't quite make out where they're sending her. And her telescope is actually a kaleidoscope. So the kaleidoscope and the eyelashes view very much the way she sees herself and the way she sees the world. Unfortunately, also for GlitterNullius, her compass is a stopwatch. It leads her primarily by accidental bumping. She stops when the stopwatch stops. She goes when the stopwatch goes. So the journey is very circular, stop-start, it's not in a straight line, and who knows where it's going to lead her. She is a tortured creature, and in Kandos, she actually, in her own story, has to acknowledge her own sense of homelessness, her own sense of not belonging somewhere. Sister GlitterNullius has her own story to tell. She's a hypocrite, she's pathetic, but at the same time she is wise and empathetic. She's the embodiment and the representation of the hypocrisy dilemma that we find ourselves in this era that we call the Anthropocene. I guess she's asking the question often, who am I, where do I belong, and where will I belong when there's nowhere left to go? She struggles with dual knowledge and the weight she feels of dual responsibilities, and really actually not even knowing where to put her energy. So I think that what happens is that she bends and molds according to the issues before her. So in the instance of Kandos, it is the idea of a place that we call home and social change, trying to explore those ideas of community, identity, fragility, and what that might mean in the future. What brought you to the town? Did a relationship bring you here? Did a job? Did a return to home bring you here? It's very different trying to deliver some of the more complex issues when you actually have begun to know the people. Would it be right to say then a town of diversity?
Becoming more and more diverse. When I first came here, there was like one person who was identifiably Aboriginal. Now there's more artists, all sorts of people. It's not the industrial town it used to be.
That's a lovely story about diversity, because of course you become so want to be so mindful of their feelings and realise the weight and complexity of issues around colonisation and recolonisation. Remember when we started this class, for those of you that were here on time, of course, Kandos and your past, Kandos and your present, and Kandos and your hopes for the future. It's not about marks. Not about marks. It's about understanding that you are somewhere that is special, somewhere that is important. And what do you think was the impact on some of those families that no longer had work in the town? What do you think holds this town together now?
Oh. Gee.
Asking people to make a fridge magnet about their relationship with a place and sparking memories in people is no small feat, but I think it also helped the work to become more grounded in the place that it's meant for. How about sharing your story with the rest of the group about why you chose the things you chose?
An Aboriginal woman, and then I've got Kandos in the little train down the bottom, and then I've got some words. Mother knew I had a voice, but see here, huddling together to preserve. Then I've got images for all time. So just a couple of some words out.
I do hope that people find my work a little bit, of course, engaging, but a little bit scary, a tiny little bit scared of the nun because she's unpredictable. Can I just ask that nobody else uses sugar snakes? The character is a conduit for starting conversations, a conduit for getting in touch with the similarities and differences that we have in all of our communities. I don't feel that the work I do is entirely mine. It belongs to everybody, and I hope that people feel that they have a level of input into the sins that the nun gets up to, because she does sin. So long as they're having a good time. The planet can wait. How do you get people to bond with the town? How do you get them to feel responsible? So we've touched on this idea of this town being colonised and then being recolonised. Now we're looking toward the future. Does anyone want to share what their hopes for the future of Kandos might be? Think of Kandos in 5 years, in 10 years. What do you hope will be the town of Kandos?
All those stars are still here, and then you lay the artist stars over the top. You know, they're all still here, and I think there's a bright, starry future.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you.
As you're looking at the person on your right and you're looking at their fridge magnets, decide which one do you like the best? Which one looks the most hopeful? Which one looks the most resource-filled fridge magnet? Everybody now reach over and take the one you want. Take it. That's right. Everybody reach over and just take whatever it is you want to take. Whichever fridge magnet you like the best. You take it to your right. That's right. Everybody's made an investment. That's right. Everybody take the one you like the most from the person on your right. You've taken a piece of their story. You've taken a piece of their lives. What are you going to do with it? What's your responsibility to that story? That is the nature of a changing community. We're going to lose elements of control over a place that we love. We'll have to find ways to work together. My project is very layered, and I guess the point of it is that we need to work together. Lots of things need to happen simultaneously. My participation in it is just a conduit, a bridge, if you like, toward, building a stronger community. The people here have been so generous and so welcoming. I hope that in some small way my work is an indication of what I'd like to give back, and a way of saying thank you for everything that I've learned here. I would like my work in Kandos and the nun at this point to be seen as everybody's, because people contribute to it. I actually would like the people to feel that it's their work, not mine.